Hey everybody. It is February 20th, 2021. And this morning I put out a video through my guides about creating your own timelines. And throughout my workday, I was asked, could I elaborate on that just a little bit? So I asked my guides, could I do this tomorrow? Because I was getting a little tired and retail was tough today, as well as it just sucked the life out of my contact lenses. But since I got home, the guides were like, nope, gotta sit down and do it now. So let's talk about timelines. So we go through them like a roller coaster all day long. And every time you engage in a conversation with someone about a particular subject, you're in that timeline. And let's face it, the last, full year, it's been about the virus and elections and all kinds of hating and things like that. So every time you get into a political arena, even if it's to comment on someone else's post, you dip into that timeline. And every time you talk about how the currency is going to be and trying to second guess and get in that left brain and analyze it over and over and over again, you're in that timeline. Okay? Every time you go into meditation and release fear and sit in stillness and focus on your breath, you elevate your timeline. When you listen to YouTubes of things that are elevating, maybe information from a channel, a guide, maybe information about that guide being a galactic family, anything that's going to uplift and enhance versus bringing you down into a 3D density of what's going on here at the surface and whose version of what is correct. And then you stay there, and then every time you go back to that conversation with anyone, including yourself, or if you're watching news channels or engaging in it or even overhearing it, you've dipped down into that timeline. So here's the question: is the timeline you're in serving you the best? Is it of service to you? Now remember, you're a sacred being and you have multidimensional abilities, and you have one source, creator, God power. So you have the ability to flip in and out of many different timelines via conversations, moods, what you expose yourself to electronically, the people that you hang around, atmosphere, environment, all those things, whatever you choose to focus on. Now, if you can have a 3D conversation, but it's more of an informational, like, oh, hey, just listening to this and hearing that and getting a little bit of feedback, but not owning it and touching down into that timeline. You could come down just a little bit and engage it and have discernment and be completely detached and not really come off your timeline, because what happens here in this density is going to occur with or without you going through what I want to call the mind effing, okay? Where there's constant chitter chatter, 10 and 2, figure it out, who's got the right story, where can I get more information? And that's where I spend my time toddling back and forth from whatever outlets you have on your phone or your computer that you use. So you have control of that remote control, period. You have control of your toddling finger, your toddling thumb. You, me, we have control of that. So if boredom's in the way and you're just listening to listen, ask yourself in the moment that you're listening, how do I feel in this moment? Do I feel elevated? Do I feel in density? How does the person's voice that I'm hearing Is it have any shrieks to it? Because sometimes tones will have you say, "Ooh, I can't listen to that right now." So the key here is, does this elevate you? Number one. And number two, how does it really feel? How does it really resonate with you, with what it is that you're doing? And if it isn't on either of those places and you're not feeling it, turn it off. Turn it off. Literally cut it loose. Don't finish it. Don't care if 25 of your friends listen to it and have a bunch to say about it. Detach yourself. Get out of that vibrational timeline that's bogging you down, as opposed to growing up, growing tall, and ascending with your energetic self to a different dimension, different timeline that gives you more peace, that fuels all of your cells, that makes you feel happier, lighter. And all that other stuff is just density. And, you could be in places where, you can't get away from overhearing some of that, but you can align yourself so that, you're Teflon, basically. It's just not going to affect you, because it has no desired outcome that on the timeline you're on, because you already know that you're on one where you're safe. Everything is going to be in harmony with the divine creator. And even if you go through hiccups and bumps and trips and so on, you'll recognize when you dip out of a happier timeline, one that projects universal higher consciousness. Okay, because that's really the key, is to get your consciousness up. Don't worry about where everybody else is. It's not our job to wake up others. It's not. And we can't say, "Oh, I live in a house of unwoken people, and so it's so hard for me to maintain." Bullshit. Bullshit. You have control of your barometer. You have control of your timeline dial. It's on you. It's your JOB. Make it fun. Say, okay, I'm in some density here. How do I tune out? How do I move through this gracefully? And how am I really feeling with it? And make it a game where you're working with your guides to elevate while you're in that density. Okay? So if you want to evolve and you want to self-develop, you're going to have to self-care, and you're going to have to self-love. And that has to be your priority before your feet hit the floor in the morning. And then it's going to have to be an ongoing maintenance program throughout the day. And if you're really paying attention, you'll notice it quite quickly when you're dipping and when you can stay above it. And that flip around those upper timelines on what you want to see in the universe. Visualize that as if it's already there. All the other minutia and cobblestone streets are not going to faze you. You're going to just glide right over it. All right, so hopefully that'll help you understand timelines. Okay, and timelines are also going to include that you feed and nourish yourself, not only spiritually but physically too. Today I felt myself dipping a bit, and I realized that my caloric intake was just too low, and I was doing a lot of walking in store and a lot of talking, and that burns calories. I wish it burnt a lot more, but anyway, I'm grateful for it. But there were some conversations, and I just walked away from them. Yeah, and then you just walk away from it. You don't walk away with it like, "Oh God, get that off me." It's like, it doesn't affect me. That's where they are on their roller coaster ride today. You're going to stay someplace else. Figure out where that is and give yourself as much nutrients and self-love, and thank yourself. Thank your guides. Thank you for that poke. I just dipped out of habit and got into that conversation. I just toddled through my stuff and came across this. Just look at things as educational, but ask yourself, does this really apply to me? Is this the timeline that resonates with me at this moment? Because we're all here to raise our vibrations. And we do that through laughter, through meditation, through peaceful walks in nature. We do that through cooking. We do that through hugging and loving our children. We do that through graceful, loving hands that extend out from our heart. So if we can stay in that place of appreciation and bump it up to gratitude as often as possible, that in itself flips the vibration. It's quite simple. And once you really say, you know what, all day today, I'm going to dedicate my barometer to understanding where it is. I'd like it to be set up here, and I'm going to leave my house with it up here. And I want you all to help me understand when it dips, and then have me remember, oh yeah, today I'm working on maintaining my high vibration. So let me step away from this. Let me go in the bathroom a little longer. Let me zip up my energy. Let me just hold my heart and just say a few things that you're grateful for. And breathe, breathe, breathe if you can't do anything else. Inhale to the count of 4, pause, exhale to the count of 4. Now, if you get super overheated, because there's just a lot of static, Mercury retrograde, all kinds of stuff, whatever it may be, being cooped up too long, do cooling breaths. So this is the snake breath. It's when you curl your tongue together and you breathe through the tongue, inhale, and you exhale through the nose. So it goes like this. So I just messed up there. But that's what you want to do. You want to do a snake tongue. So if your body is overheated, it's congested, it's feeling anxious, it's feeling agitated, do the cooling breaths throughout your day and see if that helps to cool the body down a little bit so that you can see, feel, hear, touch, smell things in a more harmonizing vibration that works well for you so that you can coast and cruise through the day, okay? So much light and love to each and every one of you. Please like, subscribe, share, leave me a message, hit that notification bell so that you get all this when it comes through. And hang in there, because you've got it. You've got this and you've got control of it. All right, till the next video.